We're gonna get going here in just a second, guys. I'm just spreading the link around to advertise the live stream. So give me one moment. All right, let's get this show on the road. So we have round 3 today, Interlagos, the Sophy AI V8 racing series. So let's go in and get this set up. I've already got it saved right here. Now, those of you that maybe this is your first time seeing this series, we run 20 cars, but only 19 of them count. The car that's in first place is purposely there to be faster than everybody else, including me. That severely limits or basically reduces the rubber band effect from the AI cars in reaction to me. So even if I'm technically in first, but actually in second, the AI cars behind me won't speed up to catch up because I'm technically not in first. So we're running custom BOP, so I have BOP off. Boost weak. This is a key thing that needs to be done when racing against most of the AI in the game, especially Sophy. Slipstream strong is just to help them pass each other. So we run 2 times tire wear. Light damage, 2 times fuel. So that's going to require 1 pit stop sometime in the middle of the race or just after. I'm going to go with cloudy conditions today, times 2. So this car right here in first place does not count. That's why his name is D-count, because he doesn't count. So ignore it. So this car, which is starting in P2, is actually in P1. So we're starting all the way at the back, and this is not on purpose. I do have a lot of extra ballast in my car to make the racing better against the other cars, and I do try to qualify the quickest I can qualify it, and it ends up at the back because of all the extra ballast. So, but that just makes it a better race to trying to climb forward and make it to the front. So everybody's in their appropriate positions, and like I said, I manually qualify these cars, so I just go into time trial. I get into each car and I do 2 laps. One's basically like a warm-up lap, and then the second lap. But if the second lap's slower than the first lap, I count the fastest lap, so whichever lap is faster. And I jot them all down into a table, and this is based on times. This is how they start. So here we go. All this stuff off, except for flag rules, I keep that on. Just keep it more realistic. "60-minute race, rolling start, and here we go." Oh, hold on. We're going to have to restart because I did not turn on my steering wheel. Okay. Here we go for real this time. usually take the first lap a little easy because on cold tires, this car has a lot of understeer. Almost went off right there already. Yeah, I noticed the AI cars in this corner go really wide. For some reason, the Aston Martin at this track is pretty slow compared to the other cars with the way I have the BOP set. They take a very narrow line into this corner. A little bit of contact there. Might be able to get a run on him down in this corner here. Oh. Nope. Should have some draft here though. catch the next car. A little bit of wheel spin. A little bit more wheel spin. He's way wide. Run here. It's probably going to pass me back on the straightaway though, because the Lexus has a lot of extra power. See if we can get him up here. Mustang going for a move. Tucks back in. Try to move around the outside here. Try again. Understeer. Yeah, that just wasn't going to work. Make a move at T1 here. Gonna try and do a little switcheroo, but it didn't work out. Kind of hung me out there to dry a little bit. Corvette and the Mustang are pretty quick in a straight line, so gonna lose a little bit of time here. Might be able to get something done here, maybe. Trying on the outside, but when you get out there, the car just doesn't want to turn. one thing Sophy is really good at, it's the switcheroo. If you go out too wide after you pass them, they'll come back on the inside. Probably gonna come back around me. Yep. Try again. into this next group here. So we're making good time overall. Although I still feel, whoa, wheel spin. I feel like the AI cars should be a little bit faster. I mean, they're fast in a straight line, but the lines they take in the corners sometimes are really weird. And a lot of the times it just slows them down. Usually they take this corner really narrow. My car has pretty bad understeer through that left-hander. Trying to keep a nose in there. Actually made that stick for once. Lexus making a pass around the outside. Nice. That's going to open the door. Try the outside again. A little bit of contact. Nice. Tried it there, but just couldn't get him under brakes. The Mustang is going to pass me back. Probably gonna pit in a couple laps. Yeah, so they go really wide right there. Wide right there. Protect the inside. Turning into a pretty good battle. And tried to close them off, but I was gonna try the over under, but I just miscalculated it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pit this time, just so it's easier for me to calculate the fuel, because I'm terrible at that. And I'll probably put a little extra in just to be safe, because as you can see, the little diamond symbol is all the way over towards the full mark. So for some reason, when you do timed races with custom races, it doesn't work. So if I had set it to a lap count, like 35 laps, then it would show me where it needs to be. But I don't know if that's a glitch or just on purpose. But let's put a little more in just so that we know we're covered. probably be doing some laps by ourselves for a little bit. Getting pretty dark with the clouds. I wish that we could do rain races with Sophy. We also need more tracks too, because the number of Sophy tracks, I don't understand why they'll give us a full track like Maggior, but you can't use Sophy in all the other layouts. Really need to try and fill in all those extra layouts. Now, even though I have a car leading the race that is supposed to help eliminate the rubber banding effect, I still feel like the other cars will slow down if the human player makes a pit stop. Because I've gained like at least a couple seconds on the car that is in front of me on this lap alone. See how long it is before any of the other cars start pitting. the doesn't count car is not far behind me. There we go. Other cars fit. Whole group of them. I know we picked up at least one position because the car that is behind us was in front of us before the pit stop. Can't talk today. Pay no attention to the blue flag because the car that it's for technically doesn't exist. I think I need to, we're almost a little too far on that. I think I need to reduce the power on that car a little. I want it to be faster than the whole group, but not so fast that it laps us. That way it basically pulls away at the start, and then you don't really see it the whole race. Overcooked that a little bit. car that is in front of us was in first or second place before the pit stop, so we made up quite a bit of ground on the pit stop. Corvette was one of the leaders too, so we should be in around third or fourth place. Okay. The doesn't count car is now on pit road. Missed the braking point on that just a little bit. catch the leader here. Well, he should be the leader after all the cars pit, but not everybody has pit yet. There's still 2 cars that have not pit. Both of them are Mercedes. Missed my turn in on that. Now they're pitting. Understeer. Close. Kind of hoping that Mercedes would get up here and mix it out with us, but Go for it. That's going to put us in first place. I think we're good on fuel. Yeah, it should be. I gotta say, it doesn't really matter how much you adjust the VOP for the AI cars. The game still, like, you try to defeat the rubber banding effect, and that's what the doesn't count car, like the car that's in first right now, technically it's not supposed to exist because I'm using it to try to eliminate or reduce the rubber banding effect, but there's still some rubber banding there because I know for a fact that all the AI cars slowed down when I made my pit stop, and I really wish that they wouldn't do that. And that's the problem with Gran Turismo AI is, you know, the regular AI has been like that for a long time, and so they introduce Sophy AI to us, which is supposed to be harder to beat, but the rubber banding is still there, and it's very annoying. I actually want a challenge, and they should give us a difficulty mode or something in the game that makes it like really hard to beat the AI. I mean, my car right now has, I don't know, 150 pounds of extra ballast to try and slow it down so that it makes the racing a little bit better. It makes it harder for me to win, but as you can see, it doesn't really work. Because I don't think it matters how much I adjust my car to try and slow myself down. The game is still going to adjust the AI cars to make it more of a race for me. And, well, I wouldn't say more of a race for me. The game is adjusting the AI to make it so it's easier for me to win. And I really wish that it wouldn't do that. And that's the problem with Gran Turismo, is that, Kazunori has said that he wants people of all ages to be able to play it, and when you do that, for the hardcore people that really want a good race, it just doesn't work out. Alright, this should be the last lap. Good thing I took extra fuel, because where I was gonna stop it probably wouldn't have given us enough. So this one ended up being pretty easy, mainly because the AI cars slowed down when I made my pit stop, which sucks, but it is what it is. So, but that's actually going to be my first win. The first two races, I didn't get up there. Yeah, in the first race I finished second, and then in the second race I finished in sixth. So, and it really depends on the track too, because not every track is good for Sophy. Last week I was supposed to run Laguna Seca, and after I did a test race, I realized how slow the AI was there, so we decided to skip it and do Road Atlanta, which is better for Sophy AI. Interlagos is good, but they're still kind of slow here. And we're going to do Red Bull next, which actually they're pretty good at Red Bulls, so that should be a good fight. So, as I said, that car that's in first there doesn't count, so just ignore it. So we got first, and let's see here. So it doesn't look like, I had a problem in some of the other races where some of the AI cars were making a second pit stop like right before the end of the race, like a lap before, and it doesn't look like that happened here, so that's good. Lost my clean race somehow. Alright, I'm gonna save that so I can get a thumbnail later. All right, so that's basically going to be it for this week. Like I said, next week we have Red Bull Ring, and that will be a little bit better, I think, as far as the AI pace compared to this track. The test race I did last night for this went okay, but today it seemed a little too easy. Like I said, I am 100% positive that the AI cars slowed down when I made my pit stop. And that's the kind of rubber banding stuff that I really wish they would just get rid of because it's unnecessary. They want everybody to have a warm and fuzzy feeling about winning a race, but honestly, if I could battle with the AI cars for an hour and finish like in eighth place, I would be ecstatic. That to me is more fun than just winning everything. So, um, yeah. So anybody that came along and joined to watch this week, thank you for that. Anybody else that wants to, like I said, I'm doing these every week. So we have Red Bull Ring next week, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 races after that. I'm going to do a whole 8-race season, so we'll see how those go. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.